in the win column. That man right there, Jonathan David, getting the go-ahead goal in the 87th minute for Canada. And yes, Jordan Wilson called Kyle Laryea getting 30th for country, which made him the all-time leading goal scorer for the men. I joked, I'm not going to say that I'm an oracle like you and could predict the future, but I joked and said, I bet you David's going to tie him.
Congratulations.
And he did. Congratulations, sir.
Welcome to the club.
Congratulations.
Nice.
Thank you very much. Andy Petrillo, Jordan Wilson, John Conway. John, you got to make a prediction at some point, too, here to get in on the game. But, I mean, it's a simple question. What did you make of the performance here tonight?
They got the job done. At home, big win, in front of the fans. It's been a long time. I think for me, the most impressive thing of everything tonight were the two center backs for Canada.
They're exceptional. I mean, you're looking at this team as well. We talked about the great performances that they had, and they've lost in penalty shootouts or whatever it might have been and come close. I think it means a lot to go up a goal, to be tied, and then to have the resolve to go and score that second on Canadian soil. This means a lot for the group. They just need to keep winning and adding to that column and just push and be in the best ranking that they've ever been before.
And I don't think we can talk enough about the center back. And Moise Bombito, for me, I am becoming more and more of a fan, because it's not just the way he plays, it's the enthusiasm in which he plays. You saw him make that big block near the end there, John, and then he just turns to the fans and roars. He gets everybody involved. Even after Jonathan David scored, he's, again, turns to the fans and wants to get them involved.
He takes such great pride in his 1v1 defending and those races that he gets into, and he does not back down. He gets after it and wins virtually every one. I don't think he lost one tonight.
He didn't.
1 foot race didn't lose, and Cornelius as well. I mean, just tremendous for these two. And I mean, we talked about this before. I know KJ and I had talked about this in the past. The fact that these two boys in the back have the pace, have the ability to press, have the ability to step up, have the ability to cover in behind, allows for the group in front of them to be aggressive in the press. They got the press going in the first half, they got the goal. And I think that's a big, big luxury for Jesse Marsch.
And it also breeds confidence within the group. When you know you have two center backs that are going to handle those 1v1 situations, 2v2 situations, and probably get the better of them most of the time, that allows everyone to be like, hey, when we go, we're going to go with all that we have. And it just permeates throughout the squad. You saw it tonight. Bombito, when he's just grappling, he's so good at, a striker will feel him, he'll slap a hand away and make sure he pushes him off. He's so good at that, and the team feeds off of it, and they know that they can go into another gear. They did that time and time again today.
Kyle Laryea, Jonathan David, we've been talking about them needing to find the back of the net. We know that for Kyle Laryea, the last time he scored was back in March. Jonathan David has found his scoring touch, Copa, and then yes, in that game against the United States. Oh, boys, I don't know how the shirts are coming off because it is still chilly here.
No, not I.
Yeah, that will not be us. But the team making them feel pretty hot with that result. But in a game where we can look at, that was maybe sloppy, that needs to be tidied up. The guys we've been saying need to do X, Y, and Z did X, Y, and Z.
Absolutely. I mean, for a while now, people have been talking about Kyle Laryea and his role up top. And I think Christian Jack has spoken about it, just about his defensive work and the way that he's in the right place at the right time, and that it will come. And Jonathan David, the Iceman, has been leading the team with just his execution and finding the right gaps. But this is why you play with two, John. This is why you can't really sacrifice one. You need both. It's a 1-2 punch that gives. Tonight it gave in all its glory. Was it the best performance for Canada? No. But were they there and they scored 2 goals? Absolutely. So for me, I'll take all of that.
Let's be clear with those two finishes. Absolutely clinical in front of goal. Laryea opens up, tips it high. Same thing with Jonathan David. Comes across and using his pace on the run and the pace of the ball across, all he has to do is redirect it into the back post, and he does so. I mean, that is clinical defending, clinical finishing, and that's what you need from these two boys, because that's what they get week in, week out in La Liga and Ligue 1. That type of pressure, and they provided it tonight, getting the goals. I mean, awesome, awesome performance in terms of the finishing. I think there's some other things, as we talked about, that could be a lot better. Their build-up play wasn't great. You know, maybe the pitch has a little bit of something to do with that. And you can see them now celebrating with the fans. It's just a tremendous, tremendous evening here at BMO.
Well, for those of you at home who want to know what it feels like to be in BMO Field right now, let's have a listen. By the way, do you know who they pulled in to bang the drum? It was Moise Bombito. The team even recognized what he was able to do. Yes, between him and Derek Cornelius, I mean, the two are really the two peas in a pod. But Bombito was definitely the busier of the two here tonight. Recognition by Alphonso Davies and pulling him to the front of the pack there to be able to bang on the drum and give the recognition to the fans. There's Max Crepeau handing back a pretty big flag. He wasn't all that busy tonight, John. I mean, maybe you're going to say, watch yourself, because he was very vocal given the way Panama was coming at him, but I guess that's why we have the goalkeeper on the set here. What was his role in tonight's game?
Well, I think at one point in the first half, he made a decision to come out and try and play a ball and got caught. I think what happens is that you want to be, you feel like you're involved in the game. This is a thing that happens with goalkeepers where you're not really getting a lot of work, and you really feel like you got to step out and make a play. In that instance, he's got the speediest guy on the field in Alphonso Davies. Let him do his job. That ball's going away from the goal, away from your goal. It's going towards the end line. Stay home and protect. And I think that was his only real bad decision on the night. You know, a bunch of set pieces I thought were very tricky tonight for them. I think they can be better in that area as well, defensively. You know, second balls were a threat. And I think that our second phase on the defending needs to be better. But, you know, for Crepeau, this is another chance, another performance where he works with those two boys that we talked about in the pregame, Bombito and Cornelius, and that relationship is growing and growing.
You need it to. That's the chemistry that you need to do, and you need to grind it out. And yeah, Crepeau was an outstanding match. Usually he's the one making saves and standing on his head, but tonight it didn't roll that way, and I'm glad, because we're watching Canada go forward as well. Was there rhythm in this match? Not as much as we would like, but like I said, Andy, 2 goals. You also where it was drawn 1-1. You got the second one to go and win it. There's a lot to be happy about.
Well, here's the thing. You have to give credit where credit's due, and I don't think there was a lot of rhythm either in this game, because Panama did their job. They knew exactly what they were doing against the Canadians. We saw the physical play. We saw the tackles. Yeah, sure, they picked up some fouls. They got in Canada's face. They broke up Canada's rhythm. But I think what's also really important to note here, this is something that we saw them turn that corner during World Cup qualifying. Canadians used to get Concacaf, and then they didn't fall for it. They started doing some of the Concacafing themselves. But then the key was they didn't get caught up in it. They didn't start taking the stupid fouls. They didn't start taking the yellows, the reds.
Yeah.
And I think they maintained their composure. So was it as free-flowing, the beautiful game that we wanted to see from Canada? No, because Panama did their job. But the Canadians stood their ground. They were patient. They didn't panic. Jesse Marsch made some key substitutions that came on in and gave life. So I think you also have to give credit in Panama being able to do what they did, but then at the end of the day, the Canadians maintaining composure and being able to respond, courtesy of Jonathan David in the 87th minute. He is our Gatorade performance of the match. He gets goal number 30 to tie Kyle Laryea. Break this one down for me.
Yeah, John mentioned to me that just a win by Cornelius to really set this up, right? The center back winning the ball, and then this man driving forward. You know when it goes wide, Liam Miller got subbed on. That is a great finish. Look at the spin of the ball when Jonathan David makes contact. It's going away from the keeper, inside of his foot, but that is just confidence and composure. And then go on and dance. Why not? John, you move like that as well?
I got moves like that. Absolutely. I mean, listen, I mentioned it right before. Why are you laughing? You know I got moves like that. Seriously.
I love it.
When the big man takes to the dance floor, all I have to say is move, because his arms move, and if you don't, you're getting hit.
True. The arms go everywhere.
That's the
Hands
dance.
and arms go everywhere.
Oh, that's great.
That's this.
But I mean, honestly, let's go back to that play. Long ball. Cornelius wins the header. I mean, Cornelius and Bombito, again, I don't want to bang this drum all night. They were spectacular. And right there, that goal is from Cornelius winning the ball. And then Jonathan David does the rest. Great hold-up play. Links up to Liam Miller and doesn't stop. Makes the pass, turns, and burns. And gets in front of the goal and finishes. I mean, just an unbelievable effort from this group tonight, and well-deserved 2-1 win.
But you mentioned pregame, John, just about that system Jesse Marsch has when a player comes out and the next one comes in. Look at Schaffelberg. Right before he gets subbed out, Liam Miller comes in. He's the one being direct and going forward. That pass that Liam Miller makes, he's been on the pitch 10, 15 minutes max, and he's able to play that ball across because he knows David's going to be there. This is what we're starting to see with Canada, right?
Yeah.
The new structure.
Well, and that's exactly it. Liam Miller, part of that substitution. Let's hear from Jonathan David with Christian Jack.
With the match winner, Jonathan David. Jonathan, how good does it feel to score late here in front of the home fans and get the victory?
Yeah, I think it's always great to score, and especially late because, you know, it's an important goal and there's not much time left. So it's a great feeling overall.
How will you remember the goal? You were involved in the build-up to Liam as well.
All I remember was a clearance. The ball came back to me, controlled it, dribbled a little bit, passed it to Liam, and I knew after the cross is coming in, I just had to be in right place, right time.
A prototypical one-touch finish from you. You've got 13 games, 8 goals already at home in France, and you score here. How are you feeling club-wise and internationally-wise? Probably the form of your life at the moment.
Yeah, I'm feeling good. Obviously, the season started well. So right now, I'm just trying to keep the confidence up high and keep scoring.
Last one for you. You just did a lap of honor. It's the first game at home in 11 months. What was that like to come back here and play in front of these fans?
It's a great feeling because, you know, we remember all throughout the World Cup qualifiers, the great memories we had here. So it's always nice to come back and especially to get the win.
Canada's lucky to have you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
There's a look at the other man we were talking about alongside Moise Bombito, Derek Cornelius. A lot of family and friends in attendance. We keep saying it's been 11 months since they were able to play on home soil, in particular here in Toronto. So you know, for a lot of them who are local boys, it is so great for them to have their family and friends in attendance. This game almost started with Panama in the lead. They got a goal. It was quickly waved off. Pretty obvious that that was offside, but we had to wait until the 44th minute, near the end of that first half, before we did see a first goal, and it was courtesy of Kyle Laryea, somebody that a lot of people have been pointing the finger at, saying, okay, when is he going to start scoring again for country? He's somebody that Jesse Marsch is going to need to find the back of the net, especially if we're going to say that they're having goal-scoring woes. But a lot went wrong for Panama here, and John, Canada took advantage of it.
Absolutely. The numbers just aren't right for Panama to build out. And Estafio, with great recognition, steps up hard, applies pressure on Godoy, and Godoy just gets stuck on it. And the ball across Mohamed, tremendous, Jordan, and then the finish.
Absolutely. We're starting to see a new identity, a new game plan from Canada. What about the first goal they scored against the Americans, right? High pressure as well. Everyone close, tight together, ready to hunt. They go and score, right? Okay, Mexico, no goals in that match, but the pressure was there. Tonight against Panama, same thing. Close, ready. Teams at Concacaf need to learn quick. If you're going to play the ball out of the back, you better make sure that you're in the right position, because Canada, Jesse Marsch, the way he has his team hunting and working together, they will pick your pocket and score really quickly. So beautiful to see that plan come into action tonight.
Well, there's a look at Richie, who in the pregame show we had said is also playing for a starting position here. You know, it's crazy to think, given just the role that he had as well with this team during World Cup qualifying. But if we're going to praise the depth of this team, if we're going to say, hey, these substitutes are great, hey, these young guys Jesse Marsch is bringing on in, pushing other guys, well, you got to make room. They call it a starting 11 for a reason. It's not the starting 15. And sometimes guys get left out. Alistair Johnston not here. Richie Laryea slots in that right fullback position. How did you think he played?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, it's a solid performance from Richie. It's one of those things, though, as a right back, like, you do your job sometimes and you just hang on and have a solid performance. Of course, for me, I want to see Richie bombing forward, but John, you know, not every game is like that. Sometimes you just have to handle business, make sure that you're compact defensively. You saw him the first half, you started to go inside a little bit, but sometimes it's just about not being beat, being in the right spot, helping Cornelius, helping Bombito, making sure that you're in the right decision, in the right place at the right time. But I think if he plays there consistently for Canada, like we know he can, we're going to see the service that he can provide. Tonight just wasn't that night to really highlight that.
I think for me, the biggest takeaway from his performance tonight was this is a game where he could have easily got involved in the shenanigans.
Yeah, I was thinking that, yep.
Easily got involved in the shenanigans, and he didn't. He kept his head on him. He was smart. You know, he got a few times where he got whacked and didn't retaliate in any way, and I think that's a big thing for Richie. And kudos for him tonight to do that.
Yeah, exactly. Although he's usually good to draw a couple fouls here and there. Hey! But yes, you're right. Kept his head on straight and didn't get involved in any of that could have been to the detriment of Canada. But in the second half, it was Panama who does level things up. And They too had some substitutions that made an impact. Martinez came on in the 61st minute, and then in the 69th, Vallarta ends up getting the goal. What went wrong here if you're trying to break this down?
Yeah, I remember Liam Miller when Panama was celebrating in the corner as well, just kind of saying, you see that one touch he tries to do, is that the place to really play like that? He just got subbed on. I'll say the breakdown, the fact that Panama was able to go between the lines so quickly, it's a great finish here, but that's something Canada want to clean up on, right? Just sometimes when you're 1-0 up, it's about being safe. You leave that ball in the middle, John, and just play a little bit scrappy on this pitch. And we talked about Panama and how they can break forward. I mean, it was a sloppy situation that we hope Canada cleans up moving forward.
You know, kudos, again, I've used the word 3 times already, kudos. But anyway, Panama, great play from Martinez as he comes into the game. He gets on the ball there in a bunch of traffic and waits a ball perfectly for Fajardo to get in behind. I mean, really good pass. Splits between, you know, Cornelius and Fonzie on the left-hand side, and good finish, but great weight of the ball to break the lines and put the goal scorer in a position to finish.
That came in the 69th minute, and as we know, though, 87th minute, Jonathan David wins it for Canada. Alphonso Davies, the skipper, with Christian Jack.
With skipper Alphonso Davies. We'll get to the match in a second, but this moment is big, no? First home game in 11 months. Johnny David gets the winner. You've had a lap of honor with the fans. How's this to come home and represent this match?
Yeah, it means a lot. Like you said, 11 months, you know, without playing a home game. And today the fans showed out. I mean, it's a cold one, but they stuck around, and we knew that we had to put on a show for them. Had to get the win at home for a very long time, and we're excited to get that. And the Iceman did his job today, and I'm very proud of the team, and I'm very happy.
You answered my next question. I'm going to go there. You mentioned it's cold, but the cold finisher himself, Jonathan David, how can we describe it? It's his 30th goal today in international football. It doesn't surprise you anymore, I'm sure.
No. Johnny is a guy where you know, in the middle of the goal, anywhere in the box, he puts it in the net. I mean, we're happy to have him, and we're happy that he's scoring frequently at the club level, and you know, he brings the form here at the international level. So, yeah, we're very happy, and we're happy that he can, you know, get another one today, and also Kyle as well.
A quick word on Kyle. I was going to mention that it's his 12th time he's opened the scoring to make it 1-0 Canada in his 30th goal, and a big goal at the right time.
Yeah. It was an amazing goal. I mean, the counter-attack, the brace, the pace that we attack with, and yeah, I mean, just seeing these guys up top doing the job, you know, it makes us happy. It makes our job easy in the back. You know, knowing that we have players like this up top that can finish in the net, and yeah, we're very happy.
Last one for you, skipper. You'll be back here in a month. Big Nations League 2-legged tie. You didn't get it done last year. How big is this to help you get motivated for that to get back to the tournament semi-final?
Yeah, it's a big one. You know, obviously the last time we were here, you know, during the Nations League run, yeah, we lost to Jamaica, and that still sits with us. This next 2 games, home and away, is going to be a very big one for us, and yeah, we know that we can't take anybody for granted. We have to go in each and every game with the mindset of it's a finals, and we have to take every opponent seriously, no matter where we go, no matter who we play, and we have to keep the same mindset wherever we go and however we play.
It's always great to see you. Stuttgart and Barcelona next for you. Safe travels home, okay?
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Pre-game show, we discussed the culture of this team, and we know that they just spent a week in Montreal, taking advantage of the fact that they didn't have another game in this window to get more training in, to visit youth clubs, to hold an open training session, to be one with the fans, so to say. And I want to take you back to just some of the footage that we also showed in the pregame show of the players coming off the bus. It seems small, but here's Jonathan David. He's just like, hey, I'm going to stare you down. He's having a little bit of fun. Alphonso Davies going straight to the fans, relax, cool, collected. They seem like a team that's bonded. They seem like a team that's just loose. They're joking around, they're smiling. There's just something about them where it doesn't seem like the shoulders are to the ears or there's any kind of tension. And that's an intangible that a lot of times you can't put your finger on to say that's why that team works. That's why that dressing room works.
Like the 2 individuals you just mentioned, Jonathan David, Alphonso Davies, they grew up together. Like, you're looking at kid football, youth football, U15 playing for Canada and tearing it up on the pitch. This is their dream now. You also have to add that this is their team. Like, the people that have come before, fantastic players, looking at Thibaut Hutchinson, players that have put Canada in the place that they need to be. But there's no question, John, that Alphonso Davies, Jonathan David, Eustachio, everyone on that, they are the faces. They carry this Maple Leaf. They're the ones that everyone's looking to, and they're just relishing that opportunity. And you can see it pre-game, halftime, at the end of the game. This is what we've always wanted for these players, and they're getting their moment now.
I think what's very clear to me is coming out of Canada Soccer, coming out of Jesse Marsch and his group, is that this team needs to have a connection with the fans. With 2026 coming, they need to have all the fans in this country backing them, because it's going to be a tough run, and they want to go far because it's in a home country, and you're going to have one opportunity to really make an impact and make a deep run in a World Cup. You do it at home, and I think that's the big thing. They are willing to make the connection now. I think it's coming from the top down to really say, let's get these fans on board. Let's get new fans on board. Let's get the country surrounded with us and going forward into 26.
And you know you walk into stadiums with a different kind of swagger. When you like each other, when you have faith in your coach, when you're feeling good about yourself. What was your swagger when you guys walked into a stadium?
Depends how injured I was. If the hamstrings were tight, I was there crippling it. What? I was crippling it. No, but Andy, quickly, I just have to say, like, when we talk about it, it's 2024 right now, and like, oh, 2026 World Cup. It's 20 months away. Like, this is the time to get excited. Right? Don't think about birthdays and stuff like that. Okay? Don't worry about it.
No.
You age gracefully. Everyone does. It's only a year and a half.
It's true. It's true.
Okay?
It's coming up fast. You know what else came up fast? Well, a ball that needed to be saved as we get to our Allstate save of the match. And this is the 84th minute. Substitute Theo Bair for the Canadians, trying to make an impact here. Big guy gets his head up, but Orlando Mascara ends up taking or getting the save here. Taking the shot, gets his hand on it, and just also cradles it, brings it in, John. No rebound.
Great save here as he has to change direction from the looping header back across him. He's able to change direction and explode up and save it and hold on to it. Great save from Mascara. Obviously, Allstate saving the match, but, you know, again, we talk about the save. What a ball by Jonathan David there to the back post. I mean, he just picks his head up, clips it beautifully, perfectly for Theo Blair to get on the end of. But again, the save was tremendous as he has to go back across himself. It's a tough one, that reminiscent of Stephen Fry in 2016 on Josie Altidore, which is painful, but that's reminiscent of that save.
2016 final, that's right. Stephen Fry, former TFC goalkeeper, also putting the dagger in for TFC in that MLS Cup final. Well, speaking of finals, the outcome is the final day of the Canadian Premier League regular season, brought to you by Tony Bet. All the teams in action, 4 games, all kicking off at the same time. We get you set for it at 3 p.m. Eastern on One Soccer. You heard Bobby Smirniotis, even though Forge has finished first overall, they're still trying to figure out who their opponent's going to be. Who's going to take the 5th and final spot? Who's going into the playoffs? Players taking their time here to leave the pitch. They're feeling good, signing autographs for the fans. 23,000 and change were in attendance here tonight to watch the Canadians defeat Panama 2-1.
This is not just laundry. This is laundry that's one and done. This is the ultra-fast combo laundry machine that does both washing and drying cycles, so you can take a load off. This is cleaning large loads in about 2 hours. No more checking, no more forgetting. Profile is revolutionizing laundry, making any room the laundry room. This is GE Profile.
Welcome back to Matchday Live, presented by CIBC. Here's a look at your full-time stats. 2-1. Canada defeats Panama in this international friendly. 15 shots total to Panama's 5. 10 on target. Panama just getting the one. So the Canadians all over Panama here, trying to just take shots from everywhere. As we know, we've been talking a lot about their goal-scoring woes, so to say. Drying up a little bit, but they do take advantage of some opportunities here, walk away with the victory as we bring in Christian Jack now, pitch side, doing some interviews with us as well. And KJ, you had a front row seat to this one. How do you think Canada did second half compared to the first?
Yeah, I think that's a really good point to bring up. You know, it's the adjustments that they made. You know, there's a lot of calmness down here throughout the game, and it wasn't always going their way. And even when they went down, when they conceded that goal and they lost their lead, it didn't seem a lot of panic setting in, and it seemed like a very mature approach for me. Speaking to Derek Cornelius down here, the way him and Bombito defended, you could just see that they were ready for things. You know, anticipation is a great skill here, and I think that they understood that there's going to be some adversity here. We talked about it in the pregame show. This Panama team, it's not a pushover. A few fans came into me thinking 3-4, 5-0 tonight, and I was very cautious in that. First of all, Canada haven't played together for a month. Panama have been together and they played the United States to a game ready. And the second of all is that, as I said earlier, this Panama team are a threat. They're a threat to get to the World Cup. We expect them to be there. They're doing very well in Concacaf. We may well play them again in a Nations League semi-final, potentially in March. So, look, I think overall it was a difficult opponent on a difficult night with a difficult pitch. And many of the players shone, and it was a decent performance. And in the end, we started the show talking about how they're going to get the goals, and the two men up front, well, they found them.
Well, to nobody's surprise, and obviously not yours either, KJ, Gareth Wheeler walked by the set. He was screaming something, as one does, but he was screaming that he's calling Moise Bombito the eraser because he erases the opponent's space. How many times did he do that tonight?
Yeah, it was absolutely marvelous. You know, we have these debates within our production crew all the time about who's the performer of the match, and you know, he was the best player on the field. Let's call him that. Jonathan David gets you an 88th minute winner in a crucial game to send 23,000 people home happy. We can make him the performer of the match, but the best player from the whistle to the whistle was Moise Bombito once again, and he continues to just be, grow in front of our eyes. We've seen the athleticism before. That certainly helped him get out of the jail, and a few of these decisions today, they can play a higher line because of it. But I've had the chance to be with this person and speak to him immensely a lot, to feel like just how deep in thought he is and how much he's a student of the game and how much he looks at other defenders and evaluates his own work. And, you know, many people talked about the big headline with Moise Bombito when Jesse Marsch came in, and he used him as that example of a player saying, how can he not have been found earlier? The good thing about that is Bombito is a 23-year-old. He's not a 19-year-old. And he hasn't played that many games professionally, but he has the experience more of a 23-year-old rather than a teenager. So where he is fresh in football minutes, he's not fresh in life minutes, and I can see that right away in his maturity. He belongs on this pitch, and it speaks to the evolution of what this Canadian team does, and it goes all the way back from Tajon Buchanan coming from the Olympic camp, pre-World Cup, to making it. The moment these players come in, they belong right away and they fit right in. There's no bedding in time. They're given a culture where they can be themselves from the club game. They come in, they allow themselves to excel, and you can just see right now that everything's moving in the right direction for them.
And we know the first time we saw Moise, John Herdman was trying him in that midfield, but it's just that perfect position for him there, center back. Clearly also what he was able to do with Colorado. KJ, thanks so much for all your work here tonight. Pitch side there, doing the interviews for One Soccer with Canada. 2-1 victory over Panama. And despite the score line, and yes, Canada winning, the defense, and that's why we've been talking about them, they were busy as well. But all around in that second half with the substitutions coming on in, they helped get it done for Canada on home soil.
Fraser Ed smashed it into the top of the net. And Noah Jensen with a missile. Sanchez lines up the shot.
Hey, buddy, need some help?
Me? Oh no, I got my own system.
Let us do the heavy lifting with Walmart grocery delivery.
I never thought of carrying it like that.
This ultimate mouth-watering moment is brought to you by the big, bold, ultimate taste of Ultimate Chicken Hot Dogs, only from Maple Lodge Farms.
Degree 72-hour non-stop protection. Antiperspirant with motion sense. Tested to the limit. Degree keeps working when others stop.
With Derek Cornelius after a late 2-1 win. How good was it to be back and get a victory in that manner?
Yeah, you know, we miss playing at home, you know, especially here in BMO. This crowd always pushes us over the line. And yeah, we wanted to put on a show for them today. That was a big message from the coach today, that we wanted to really put on a show to see that we care about, you know, even though it's a friendly game, that we want to still, you know, keep our standards, keep our way of playing, and we did that today. You know, we went through a tough maybe 20 minutes during the second half, but the team regrouped well and we found a way to get the win, and that's most important.
Both yourself and your centre-back partner, Moisbon Bito, were immense tonight. You played a big part with the header on the build-up to the goal as well. How is that partnership developing, and how good did you feel today playing with him again?
First of all, thank you for noticing. Normally the centre-backs, we don't notice those little parts. But no, it's been good, you know, playing with the Moise. The more games we play together, it's getting easier and easier. And yeah, as you see, you know, it's important to have two strong center halves in the team, you know, to give the team that solid foundation, and we're working every day to make sure that we are that, you know. So yeah, we're happy with the win today. We'd be even more happy if we kept the clean sheet, but most important is that we get the win.
Final one for you, Derek. You've been around this program for a long time. Can you compare it, what it used to be like, to what it is now? Like, what is working? It's not just on the field, but within the culture of this team?
Yeah, I just think when Jesse came in, he brought a clear style of play. And not always do you get that with national teams because you're not together so much, you know. But he brought in, he saw our strengths, he saw our weaknesses, and he found a style of play that really pushes us to use our strengths, our physicality, our speed, our power. And yeah, the team really bought into that. So we're trying to perfect it. Every camp we get together, you know, we have a lot of video meetings. When we leave, he tells us what we need to work on individually and as a group. And yeah, I think credit to him, and then credit to the boys for applying it so well.
Pleasure to watch you grow. Pleasure. Safe travels back to France, okay?
Thank you, KJ. Thank you. Thank you.
We're going to see the Canadian men again in November. Concacaf Nations League quarterfinals, still awaiting their opponent. That will be in mid-November. You can catch those right here on One Soccer. The goal is to qualify for the Nations League final. That'll be March 2025, the top four. We keep saying trophy. When are they going to get another one? The last coming 2000 Gold Cup. More international friendlies in June. And then, yes, CONCACAF Gold Cup in 2025. You want to be able to qualify for that as well. They have just shut the lights. We're not done. We will stop talking when we feel like stopping to talk. Maybe I'm going to stop right now because I can't even formulate sentences anymore. I'm getting so cold. But here's the thing. Trophies matter now. So when you look at those two games in November, what become your expectations?
Yeah, I mean, of course it's trophies. And I know you can't really call them kings of CONCACAF unless you win something. But I'm going even a step further. I'm thinking about rankings as well. So not losing. Keep winning. Canada's best ranking ever was 33. That's 38 right now. I'm sure this win against Panama was 37. They'll probably push them a bit higher. But, John, if they keep winning, win now, win November, win in March, looking to have the best ranking ever. I know this is subjective, but it does matter because it's about winning streaks and putting you in that position where Canada needs to be.
I think winning is just important all the way around, Jordan. And that mentality that you're going to go out every time you're on the field and get the W. And again, you brought the point up, Andy. Trophies matter.
Yeah.
And I think this is the evolution for them. They need to win a trophy. They need to hoist a trophy in front of everybody in CONCACAF and let them know that they are certifiably the kings of CONCACAF. I think that's going to be important in this next phase, not only with Nations League, but into the Gold Cup next summer.
Because I don't think I'm crazy in saying the reality is Canada can win Nations League. Canada can win Gold Cup. I'm not sitting here saying they're going to be hoisting the World Cup in 2026, but the realistic trophies are those ones.
If they could get to a Nations League final and lose to Americans 2-0 who are better on the day, of course they can go and win a Nations League. Of course they can go and win a Gold Cup. But it's about that winning mentality becoming a winning culture, and they're very close to doing that.
Got to get through the quarterfinals first.
Come on!
Mid-November, right here on One Soccer. All right, the mouth has stopped working because it is cold, so it's okay. They turned the lights out on us. But you know what? Really, it was the Canadian men who turned the lights out on the game. 2-1. They defeat Panama in front of 23,000 strong here inside BMO Field in Toronto, Ontario. You have been watching Matchday live right here on One Soccer. On behalf of Jordan, John, Gareth, Jimmy, KJ, and the rest of the One Soccer crew, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Gatorade, with electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat, carbs to help fuel your working muscles, and fluids to help you hydrate. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing.
I do this for my town, my time, my time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Gatorade.
Life's better with extra space. Space for family. Space for memories. Space for you. Try 4 weeks free. Access Storage, proud partner of Canada Soccer.